This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello everyone and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 249. I know that if you've been following GameHounds, there's been some weirdness with the numbering system. I was working on getting the GameHounds onto the regular GameHounds RSS feed and realized that we misnumbered. So we've been using the wrong numbers for
Well, you know what? That was just a mystery show. That was a lost episode.
Yeah, well, actually, no. We named two episodes the same number, I think it was, so we had to change it. So anyway, bottom line, this really is episode 249. I'm Edie Sellers, and with me is Nick DiNicola. As you can hear by that clink sound, Holy Goalie's not here this week. I mean, I should say he's here, but he's not going to be here till later because he's snow plowing at the moment, and I guess it's pretty bad out there. So we on the West Coast are going to carry the burden of the beginning of the show and be really glad we live in California. But
I know, I'm sitting here all wrapped up in a blanket.
Me too.
It's so cold.
I know. It's like, what, 60?
God, I can't even imagine.
I am. Are you really wrapped up in a blanket?
Yeah.
And me too. I am too. Got my big fuzzy blanket. Got a jacket on in the house. Yeah, I think it's 60, probably 67 in the house. 60, probably 66 in the house. So yeah.
It's way warmer now because I just had a heater on facing me full blast.
66 degrees. We're dying. And this is why we're on the West Coast.
Yep.
How have you been?
I've been pretty good.
I want to apologize to everybody who's listening who is signed up to the RSS feed. I got at least one complaint from someone how I pretty much bombed the RSS feed with probably 2 months worth of shows because I have not been updating. We record these on Spreaker. And then I'm supposed to go right over and update it to the RSS, the regular RSS feed, so it comes out on iTunes on the regular GameHounds show. And we've been doing that because I have been recording them separately on using Pro Tools and recording it to my hard drive, and then I edit it and then put it up. But the editing and the putting it up takes a lot of time. And my life and taking care of my dad and stuff has really kind of eaten into my time to do things like edit a show. So we've been recording it on Spreaker, and then I was supposed to just easily walk over, download it, and put it on the RSS feed as we do it. And I have been a really, really bad podcaster and haven't been doing that. And there's no one to blame but myself. I could have done it a number of times. I just was a slacker. So sorry. I bombed everybody in updating the shows and updating the feed. That will not happen again. I promise
not for
you.
A couple months.
No. I mean, it will. I'm going to. It creates such grief all the way around. It's like you don't put it on the RSS feed and people complain that there's no shows. Then you put it all on the RSS feed, then everybody complains, oh my God, there's like 12 shows now. So I realize this is a bad thing.
Well, that's normally because people put it on the RSS feed each week.
Right. And I'm not going to do that to you again. I'm definitely, after the show, no matter how much Goalie begs me to go play Diablo or something, I will stop what I'm doing and transfer it over to the RSS feed one at a time instead of spending 2 days. I screwed myself. I screwed you. I screwed myself. I screwed everybody. And I'm sorry. That won't happen again. So how was your week? What did you play?
A lot of Assassin's Creed.
Really? You have been playing that. Did you play the new DLC?
No, I haven't. I want to beat the game first.
Have you beaten it?
Yes, I have.
Okay. All right.
I've beat it, and I've platinum trophied it.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
All right. So, if you are playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag and you have not finished the game and you do not want to hear spoilers, please just stop listening right now and fast forward like 5 minutes, okay? Because I want to ask Nick some stuff about the end that I don't understand because I did not play the last Assassin's Creed, which I think probably made a difference in the end to me, or how I understood it. Okay, so turn off the podcast right now and fast forward 5 minutes. And there you go. Okay, Nick, spoiler time. You've been warned. Do not complain. You've been warned. So that end, the little kid that he had in the balcony, I did not understand the significance of the end.
Oh, okay. You mean that very, very end.
The very, very, very end.
Okay. So yeah, the girl was his daughter from Caroline.
Right.
And the boy, I don't know who his mother is, and I'm curious about that, but that boy is the antagonist of Assassin's Creed 3.
The antagonist?
Yes.
So he's not an assassin? He's not going to be an assassin? He's going to be a Templar?
Yes.
Oh!
That's one of the interesting things about Assassin's Creed 3 is that it opens with you playing whatever.
Go ahead, it opens. All
yeah,
right.
it opens with you playing as that character.
And he is a Templar.
You don't know that at first.
Okay.
So it opens, that's one of the kind of neat, surprising things about the game is that, they showed off Connor all this time, but when it actually starts, you play as Haytham for like a good 3 to 4 hours. And then only at the very end of those 3 to 4 hours, after he sort of put together his like Ocean's 11 style group, reveal that, okay, these guys are Templars. And then you switch over to Connor, who kind of, over the course of the game, kills that Ocean's 11 group.
Got it. Okay.
Also, Connor is Haytham's son. Because they're all part of the same bloodline.
Oh, so you've got Edward, Haytham, and Connor.
Yes, that's the generational line.
Oh, yeah. See, I that end was like, okay, I know I'm missing something because I didn't play the last one.
Yeah,
yeah.
I smiled and I had to smirk when the trophy popped up that saw that one coming. Because it's like, oh, yep, there's Haytham.
Yeah, I did
I'm
not
curious who his mother is though. Because I don't know, that seems important.
Yeah, it seems like it might be. I that's when I knew, because I got the same trophy, saw that one coming. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew, okay, I clearly missed something here.
But that's not really all that big. I mean, concerning kind of the other revelations in the game. That's more of a continuity thing.
Like what? What other revelations of the game?
Just kind of the existence of the Sage, what that means.
Yeah.
Sort of the state of the world and where it's heading in the future.
I can get that. Don't mind me, I'm sipping coffee.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I don't have goalie to hide my coffee sipping.
So, okay, for people who are still listening, that's not a super big spoiler. Because if you played Assassin's Creed 3, you know that Edward is Haytham's father. Right. So, like the trophy says, you saw that one coming.
Okay. All right, so, sorry. I had we were starting the show late. I had a really tough night. You ever wake up some mornings and you're awake and you could wake up, but your bed feels so comfortable, like so much more comfortable than it usually feels? That's what happened
I
to
usually
me
just bump the alarm back a half hour and go back to sleep.
That's exactly what I did. That's why we're starting late, and that's why I'm kind of like needing coffee and rubbing my eyes and sounding like I'm working the sleep off of my brain, because I am. So, did you play any more of the multiplayer of the Assassin's Creed?
A little bit, just enough to get to level 55, because that's a trophy. And so it's the only Assassin's Creed game I ever prestiged in, because it's not that hard. Like they've lowered the experience requirement enough to make it actually possible for, I think, someone who's not casual, but you don't have to be like a hardcore player to prestige.
Mm-hmm.
But it also helped that there were like 2 weekends in a row of double XP.
Right. Now, did you play any of the competitive multiplayer? Because I have not even begun to.
Yeah, I played some of that because some of it was necessary for other trophies.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Because I do enjoy it. It's just it can be very frustrating at times. Just like any multiplayer. Yeah. But what I've kind of taken to doing is just being like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not competing for the high score. I just want to get a real good kill.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps.
Yeah, just keeping your goals small.
Yeah. And you know what? When I do that, I manage to get pretty high on the leaderboard.
Really? Well, that multiplayer, more than any other multiplayer I've found, is really about not how many you kill, but how you kill.
Yeah.
Making a good kill, doing it like an assassin, as opposed to just running around and stabbing things. And that's my frustration with Wolfpack, is that I kind of only want to. Now that I've played Wolfpack with a group of friends that's a closed group, I realize how much more I enjoy it playing in a closed group.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to a public Wolfpack I just know it'll be just so frustrating.
I've never played public Wolfpack. I just don't understand how that works. Like I can't. Maybe I have a low expectation of online players, but I can't imagine people.
Oh, you don't have a low expectation, but people do. Every blue moon, you will get a group of people who really know what they're doing. And I will admit, I was as bad as many, because you get a lot of points for sneaking up on someone, meaning that you're not just running up to them. And I was running up to them because I've been playing public Wolfpack where you can't, or where you have to run up to them, because if you don't, then you're screwed, because people will just run in and kill them anyway. So you have to get there first so that you can get the most amount of time to actually get some focus on someone. That's your only hope of actually scoring well. So, you do once in a while get a good group of people, and it just happens by kismet. And when you get it, you are so thankful because you do so well. I really didn't play much of anything. All I played was more of the Sims Medieval. It's because it doesn't, unlike other Sims where you have a perpetual world that just keeps going, since it's more mission based, I want to say. There's like individual missions, and then or they call them quests, and then there's the overall what they call Kingdom Ambition, which is the big quest. And the Kingdom Ambition can be annex all the territories around you, or get the highest amount of fame, or do as many small missions as you possibly can, as quickly as you can. So when you get to that final, you actually attain the Kingdom Ambition, then the game kind of sort of shuts down a little bit. It doesn't present you as many. It doesn't present you with the little quests, the little daily, individual quests. So then you kind of have to go out and start a whole new kingdom to start under the next ambition that you would like to try and achieve.
So I guess that's kind of like beating the game.
Right. Right. You've beaten that game, and then you go into the next game, which is something. It's very similar. Many of the individual quests are exactly the same, and they depend upon the individual quests depend upon what you need for your kingdom. So a lot of them are exactly the same thing that you've done before, but there's always, you have a choice of when you go into you finish your individual quest, you go in, it'll give you a list of quests you can choose from to try and do, but those lists don't always stick around. Like, they keep changing. Every time you finish one, you go back in, and it may be that quests that were there before that you didn't do aren't there now, but new ones are. So you don't end up doing all the same quests every single time. You may have done one or two of them before, but then you'll see something else you haven't done. It's like, oh, well, let's do that one instead. Or ones that you saw before but you didn't do. And then they disappeared off the list. So there's enough variety. So I've finished 2 of the Kingdom Ambitions, and I'm working on a 3rd, which is Fame. So it keeps it small, but it still keeps it moving. It's starting to get a little old for me because I have done so many of the individual quests that they are.
It's like the grind is starting to set in.
The grind is starting to set in just a little bit, but still, because it's The Sims, every time you do it, it's a little different. You get a little more efficient at doing it. You get pregnant at different times. That's the other hilarious thing. It's the Middle Ages. Sims get pregnant very easily. You can't not get pregnant. There's no such thing as birth control. So yeah, I have managed to just. I don't. Did I mention this last week? I pretty much every kingdom I make just has this entire subclass of like scattered bastards, like 6 or 8 of it, like each of the characters, the female characters, because of course male characters you have to get married in order to have your children live with you, but the female characters are always like, that starts out with a nice clean place, whether it's the wizard's tower or the spy's tower or the castle, and by the end of it, like, your kids, it's like nothing but beds all over the place where all those kids are sleeping, because otherwise the kids get into your bed and then you can't get any sleep. So you have to put in a bed. So and then you'll get to a certain point where it tells you have a baby. Like after I think 4 or 5, you have a baby and it'll go, yeah, you can't have that many kids living in your house. You're going to have to get rid of one.
Oh, jeez.
So you have a choice of sending them to a trade school, a military school, sending them out on their own, or sending them to an orphanage. So you send them away, and then every once in a while you'll get this little message saying, like, Harriet has sent you some mail and a present from boarding school, and you go over there and it's a little present in the mail for you from your kid that you kicked out of the house because you had another one. Talk about guilt.
You should always just kick them out on the street. Don't send them to boarding school. Just, put them out on the street, and it'll be a natural selection.
Well, no, they don't. Well, I have sent them. I feel a little too guilty. Have sent them to trade school, and I've sent them to military school. I don't feel it's right to kick them out and just put them out on their own. But and I don't know what the difference between putting them out on their own and sending them to an orphanage, but I haven't gotten in that far. But yeah. The other thing is that the kids don't ever grow up beyond, like, they're born as babies, then they quickly become children, and then they stay children. And then when you send them away, if one of your heroes dies, like say your wizard is a kid, and you send all the kids away, and you've got all the kids in your house too. If your wizard gets killed in a fight or in a duel or something, then you can have an option of creating an entirely new wizard to take that wizard's place, or you can promote one of your children to take that wizard's place. So they don't go away forever. They're just kind of sitting in the wings as potential characters.
So what happens when people die in that game? Can they die?
Oh, yeah.
Or is the timeline too short?
No, like, well, they don't die from old age, but you can have a duel to the death.
Okay.
Yeah, they can, or sometimes if they can thrown into the pit, there's a monster inside the pit where you can throw people in.
But do they age?
They do not age.
So do the kids ever grow up?
No, kids don't ever grow up unless they're promoted. Say your wizard, or say your spy gets into a duel, and a duel to the death, and your spy dies, which I've had happen. Then it sends you to a screen, and you can look at all the spy's children and decide which of the children you want to make the new kingdom's spy and take over his father's place. Or you can go to create a whole new one and just let the kids stay kids.
That's very weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's been some hilarious moments for me, as usual. Just mostly it has to do with the breeding of children. Of having one baby in your arms and being pregnant again and realizing, oh, God damn it, I got pregnant again. Oh!
You can make a business out of that.
I know. My God, those Sims breed. You could literally keep a Sim pregnant the entire game.
Just only you could sell the kids for profit.
Well, like, you can send them down to the store to pick up stuff, which is there's a village shop that if you go down to the village shop, then it takes quite a bit of time, especially if you're like somewhere else in the kingdom. It's quite a walk to go to the village shop, and then inside the village shop itself, it's really freaking long. But you can send your kids out to the shop, which is nice. Because then it just saves you that much time. So they've got some advantages.
Send a newborn to the shop. Go pick me up some bread.
You can crawl.
Yeah. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go. A little 6-year-old Timmy, take your infant daughter, your infant sister to the shop.
Can't one of you feed the kid? Oh, that's right. Your children.
If you drop it along the way, don't worry about it.
They don't have formula in the medieval ages. So, still finding myself playing that. Haven't really been drawn to the PlayStation 3. In fact, I booted it up last night because I thought, I should play the Assassin's Creed DLC. And, of course, there was the update.
Yeah, a big update.
Big update. Didn't read any of the details. Do we know what that update did?
Yeah, it did a bunch of small stuff that didn't seem like it'd be worth 2 gigabytes.
It was long. It took a long time to download.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't. If the download was very fast, the install took a while. But the so it wasn't anything like big, massive spring update kind of thing.
No,
okay.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's a patch.
Yeah. Anything else you played?
I know there is, and I've been trying to remember what I played. Because I know I played a lot of Assassin's Creed. I thought I played something on PC. I played a lot of Plague Inc.
Still on that, huh?
Yeah. Noticing more and more Plague stories out there, too.
What do you mean?
About how, like, there was this Noro, not Neuro, but Noro, N-O-R-O, virus outbreak on this cruise ship, and it had to, like, emergency dock somewhere in the south.
Yeah, norovirus, that frequently happens on, well, I shouldn't say frequently, it occasionally happens on cruise ships. Norovirus is a nasty one.
And then I read an article of someone worrying that global warming could thaw all the permafrost up in, like, Russia and Eastern Europe, where bodies were buried with smallpox, and the smallpox virus might get out from that.
Oh my
God. Since humans no longer have a natural immunity to it, that could really fuck things up.
Wow. Never even thought of that one.
Except they have done tests and people have gone and basically taken samples of dead bodies, and so far none have had a viable strain of smallpox in them.
Oh, good.
So yes,
That cruise ship thing was really horrible. And then speaking of plague, you know that the flu's going around here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nasty one. We had she wasn't somebody I knew, but I knew her secondhand. She was somebody. She was known by somebody that I know, and she worked she was an ad executive in Sacramento for a Sacramento television station. And she was, like 44 years old, marathon runner, mom, working, totally fit, put together. And she went home from work sick on Tuesday, went to the doctor Wednesday, was on life support Thursday, and died Saturday.
Wow.
That fast. And they were like, yeah, we didn't get the flu vaccine because it was not, no, but that's for young people and old people, right? Nope. As soon as I heard that one, I went down and got the flu vaccine. And guess who has that flu? Mrs. Goley.
Oh.
Sharon's got it. Because it was like maybe 3 or 4 days later, she was like, oh, God, I'm coughing up a lung. I can barely breathe. I'm waiting for the Minute Clinic to open. And it's like, don't wait for the Minute Clinic. Well, do you have a fever? Yeah, I have a fever. Go to the doctor. Don't wait for the Minute Clinic. Dude, this will kill you. Have you had a flu shot? Yeah, I got a flu shot. Well, go to the doctor anyway. Go to the ER. You've got the flu. This is the killer flu. So she's down with it, but fortunately she had a flu shot, which doesn't prevent you from getting it. And it doesn't prevent you from dying from it, but it gives you a lot of help and to keep from dying. So she's not dying, thank God. Probably if she had not had that flu shot, she might have died. But yeah, she's down with it, and it's horrible, horrible. So take it. I don't have to worry about you, Nick, because you don't ever go out of the house.
I know. I'm in my safe little. What are those things?
Cocoon?
No, the bubbles.
Condoms?
Yes, I am in my protective condom.
He lives in a condom. We'd like to call him Bubble Boy, but it's Condom Boy. Mm. Yep, he's hermetically sealed, sanitized for your protection like a toilet. Hi, Yoli.
Hey.
How's the snow?
Oh, not bad. 10 inches again. Jeepers creepers.
I know. You're the only one I know who complains about 10 inches. Boom, boom.
Giggity, yeah. Yeah,
wow,
it's starting to slow down.
Can't even muster up a giggity.
No, I'm beat. I've been through hell the last 4 days. This is the most exercise I've done since that New Year's Eve party in 1990, I think. So.
Do I even want to know?
The guitar player was having problems. I had to help him out, That's what friends are for, I guess.
So, your wife, we were just talking about Sharon, Mrs.
Still
Goley.
won't accept my friend Facebook request. I don't know why. Dude, it was 24 years ago.
We were just talking about Sharon, about the flu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hear one is a funny story with me?
Yeah.
I was down and out for 4 days, and then she got the flu, so I'm like, oh, man, doesn't it figure we're just passing it back and forth and this and that and the other thing. And I ended up going to the doctor because I was just feeling miserable, and they said, you don't have anything. I said, what do you mean I don't have anything? I've been in bed, literally bed for 4. I got to go to work, I go home, go back to go to bed. They says, oh, that medication that you're on for your stomach, all those antibiotics, yeah, that could be a small side effect.
Oh, details.
Yes, now you tell me. Some people have, experienced same conditions you have, like can't get out of the bathroom and then can't get out of bed, hallucinating, things like that. Yeah, that's quite common in these heavy-duty medications. So good news is I don't have the flu. The bad news is I was in bed for 24 hours at a stretch.
By the way, do you have your flu shot?
No, she got one. I didn't. She got the flu. I didn't.
Yeah, well, you should go get the flu shot. Because the flu, in fact, we were just talking about that. The flu shot doesn't keep you from getting the flu. It keeps you from dying from the flu. It doesn't keep you. It helps you not to die from the flu. Because this flu kills people in 4 days. I mean, they go from perfectly healthy to dead in 4 days. It's nasty. Nasty. It's killed like 150 people in California. I think 70 of them in Northern California. Friend of a friend died.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, that was the one I told you about.
Yeah.
Came down with it Tuesday. Doctor on Wednesday, dead on Saturday. Actually, they disconnected life support Saturday.
Did they even pick up on it at the doctor's appointment?
Oh yeah. She came in and she's like, and they're like, "You got the flu. We're taking you to the hospital." They hospitalized her that night.
Oh boy.
They took her straight from the doctor's office to the hospital. She was on life support that night.
Oh.
So she was on life support on Thursday night, Friday night, and died Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's when it hits you, and these are perfectly healthy people.
But something's weird then, because if you're healthy and you're in the hospital and you're under care,
it overwhelms your system. It puts you into your lungs just cannot breathe for yourself, so they put you on a breathing machine, and then your kidneys start to give out and your liver starts to give out because it just overwhelms your system. Yeah, I mean, let us not forget, all of us who have watched Downton Abbey remember, millions of people died from the Spanish flu. Millions worldwide. Granted, we now have a bunch more medicines that probably wouldn't kill us like the Spanish flu did, but who's to say what the next flu isn't that bad. Yeah, they have this one if you get it and you get a really bad case of it, you're gone. You're done for. You're cooked. That's when she died. I immediately went out and got a flu shot because I never get flu shots. Because I'm like you. I'm young. I'm healthy. But that's what she thought. I'm young. I'm healthy. I never get flu shots.
Well, they didn't offer me one as a doctor. They didn't say, geez, we should give you one,
Oh, well, that's odd because they're pushing them. They are pushing them like they're free beer out here in California. Yeah, you can go down to like CVS and it's like $20. They're like, if you can't afford it, just let us know. We'll give it to you for free.
Yeah.
Because we want everybody, because people die fast. It's way more expensive to deal with a body than it is to give you a flu shot. I mean, I'm bringing this down into economic terms because I'm in that kind of mood.
Nice.
So, game. Nick, any other games other than Assassin's Creed and Plague Inc? Oh, what's going on with Plague Inc? Anything interesting that you're learning? Or you're just... I mean, is it changed at your review of it? Changed at all?
No, not at all. I'm still trying to go through on the brutal difficulties. I had one particularly great game that went up right to the very end, trying to infect fucking Canada. They were infected,
but they wouldn't die.
No, it's like it just wasn't spreading enough. But the thing is, that was the only country I had left, and I just kind of. The cure was getting close to being completed, so I had to start making my virus more lethal. So I made it lethal, then it started killing people too fast. So I had to de-evolve it to make it less lethal, wait for Canada to, the percentage of infected to get up a little bit, and then I reboosted the lethality of it. And finally, after half of Canada had already died, the rest were infected, and my virus, the cure was at 96% complete.
Oh, I've had that happen humanity almost won by that much.
Yep.
And you see it going up and it's slowing down. Their cure is slowing down and you're speeding up, and it's like, it's going to be a race to the finish. Who's going to get there first?
I know. Total organ failure. When you evolve that's the end of the game.
Yeah. By the way, that's what this H1N1 swine flu does. Total organ failure.
Yep. that's the end of the game.
Yep.
Sorry, that's it. Humans are gone. We're dead.
Yeah, I should probably, because I've only played it on my iPhone and on my iPad. I really should, because you're playing it on PC, right?
No, I'm playing it on
iPhone.
Oh, but that reminds me, not to like jump into news, but it is coming to PC. It's not even out on PC, but it's like Plague Inc. evolved or something, and it'll actually have a co-op mode.
Oh, we're totally playing that, Nick. We are
I know, that
totally
sounds so
playing
cool.
that together. Because you're obviously much better at this than I am. Because I have not. I played it and then I could not figure out how to win. So I want to learn from the master, because you are definitely much better at it than I am.
Yeah, always start in India.
Always?
Always. I've been doing that ever since I saw that tip on like a Plague Inc. Forum, and like I went through everything on normal without losing a game, and finally, I think playing Fungus on Brutal is when I lost. But that was like the first time I lost in a long time.
Yeah.
Because India is a great place to start.
Yeah, that's where I naturally went to that, because I just knew that from the beginning I started going from either that or Africa, Eastern Africa. Because
For a while, I was always starting in Greenland, because Greenland's just such a pain in the ass. Fact, I was like, I'm going to start there.
But if you start in Greenland, it takes forever for anything to move, because A, there's not that many people in Greenland, and B, they're not very mobile.
Yep.
So it becomes, and Greenland, it just doesn't, Greenland's hard. I mean, they'll discover that something's going on, or you have to essentially sit there and wait for it to gestate in Greenland, and then hope that it gets spread to somewhere that's very, very that's a really big country. Another place I've tried is China, Eastern China. Is another good one, because then you catch Eastern China, you catch Middle East, and you catch India as well. Southeast Asia is another good one, because you'll eventually get to India, and once it hits India, then you've already got a little bit ahead, and on top of it, you're hitting India, because once it really takes hold in India, you've got a plague.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Gully, what have you played?
I've been doing that Tomb Raider on the PS4.
Oh,
You got the...
I did. I don't know if I said this last week or not. I've been in a
I think
fog.
you did. I vaguely remember this.
I played a little bit more of it. Well, it was such a fun game on the 360, and it was so long. It's, when you play a long campaign, sometimes you're like, oh, I just don't know if I want to go back and do that all again. And in some campaigns, you can't wait to go back and do it again. This was one of those, boy, I think I just closed the chapter. But it was always one, maybe I do it again. So this was a good excuse to go back and check out the graphics and how they use the controller with the PS4. And it's beautiful. Like I said, it's gorgeous. It's smooth. It plays fun. It does a couple little things with the controller that makes it kind of neat, like the torch will flicker the lights on the controller. That's kind of neat. The walkie-talkie comes through the speaker. Little things like that make it kind of fun. It's the same game pretty much. It's fun. It is the best Tomb Raider. It really is. So I'm having some fun with that. And I do want to try the multiplayer. I didn't do too much of that on the 360, but someone said to give it a try again. I think it was Yager, actually. He says, give it a try. Says,
God, I would not trust what he says about that multiplayer.
I know. But
Okay, so there is a trophy for like getting to level 60 in the multiplayer. And I know he's been grinding that out for like the past week, and he got it, but like he was telling me that it took like 5 hours to go from like level 53 to 60.
Huh.
Oh, I can't imagine playing that multiplayer for that long.
Yeah, I think I just did it for a few minutes and I couldn't figure it out, but I might go back. I'm enjoying playing things on a PS4. I mean, I wish, like, if Far Cry 3 come out for PS4, I'd probably pick it up and play it again. Things like that. So I did the Tomb Raider thing. That was fun. Then I finally, PSN's funky. Every time something comes up, I go to play it, PSN goes up and down. But I picked up the Outlast.
Yeah, I just downloaded that last night. Looking forward to getting it.
I started to play that a little bit, and I remember when me and Edie played it at PAX East, the opening scene when you had to get into the asylum. So I was walking around, I was like, oh yeah, I remember you got to go walk over here and go up these planks to get into the asylum instead of try the door. So I did remember that. And so I get into the asylum and just started to walk around a little bit, and it was pretty much the game that we tried at PAX East. I didn't get very far.
Yeah, I may pick it up just because
it's free.
Yeah, exactly. That too. But also because I want to give it a better try than what I had at PAX. There was a lot of other things going on that affected my opinion of it.
Yeah. Well,
By the way, you're running a bit hot. If you could turn down your pot. Yeah. Pot it down, Bubba.
Any settings? Is that any better?
Yeah. No, it's a little too low now.
Really?
Now.
Is that any better?
Yeah, it should be better. It's just you were distorting a little bit.
Yeah. The new update is really kind of funky.
Yeah.
It pegs me all the way. When I bring it all the way down, it does crazy things.
Yeah.
I think we already determined that. Outlast. Yeah, not bad. Okay. I mean, like I said, I just get into the asylum, just started to walk around. Basically, I didn't even get as far as we got when we played the demo there. But it's going to be nice to kind of play. I definitely want to play it at night. I think I got it. It was like 5 in the afternoon when it downloaded, and it was all bright outside, and I started to play. So it didn't have the same effect.
See, that's how I like to play those games. I can't play them in the dark. I'll get them at nightmares.
I like to do it at dawn.
I don't understand. Well, I do understand that because I was not a nightmare type person when I was younger, in my 20s. But something happened in my 40s where now it does give me nightmares. It does give me dreams. Because I'm even having sim dreams. Video games really get in my dreams.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, in fact, last night, totally had a sim dream. That, I would want to have an interaction with somebody or want to do something, and then I'd see up in the upper left-hand corner, I'd see that person's face, and so then I would go over and talk to them. I'd made the order to go do it.
And I don't know if it was playing with you guys or just myself, but I would play so much Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
I would go to bed and have the Left 4 Dead dreams, and I'd be swinging in my sleep.
Yeah.
Zombies. But they were good dreams. They were good zombie dreams. They were good scary dreams.
See, yeah, when I get a scary dream, I tend to not do well in my scary dreams. Like a scary dream is fun if you realize that you're going to be okay or you're going to fight through it. But if a scary dream happens and you are actually afraid of dying, then it's not so much fun. Boy, Mass Effect got in. The two games that really got into my dreams were Mass Effect and Dragon Age Origins. Oh, those games. Oh, God. Like night after night.
They put out like a concept art of Morrigan from Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool because Morgan will be back, and she seemed like a real important character, and the fact that she wasn't in 2 made it seem less important.
Odd?
Yeah.
Yeah. It almost seemed like, okay, this is shortly afterwards, but things are happening. Well, the whole Morgan thing, there's stuff in the wings. There's stuff coalescing, clouds on the horizon. There's a storm coming. By the way, do we have a date on that? What is the next big game?
Thief.
What is Thief? Remind me which one is Thief.
You play as a thief.
Ooh.
In a sort of medieval fantasy kingdom.
Oh, yes.
First person, Square Enix.
Yes. Okay. I remember.
And I guess Lightning Returns, like the new Final Fantasy 13 spinoff.
Yeah. Nah. No. Don't care. Not gonna happen. I would really love to be into Final Fantasy, but now it is so thick at this point that it's like jumping into a black hole. Oh, speaking of jumping into black holes that suck you in, I have found a new hobby. Drones. I am starting to realize how expensive this is going to be, but I'm starting to become addicted on drones. Bought Kevin a drone for Christmas, played around with it, went to a drone fighting match in in San Francisco called Game of Drones.
Okay, are they flying drones?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that makes it even better. This isn't no robot wars. This is...
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
No, well, I mean, they're you radio controlled drones. They're not autonomous.
Yeah. But they're flying.
They're
not
flying. Oh God, yes. Oh, they
All
fly.
right. Okay, that's good. That's how we take this to the next level.
Right. Beat the crap out of them. In fact, I want to do a little plug. Game of Drones is actually a business that is on Kickstarter, and they are doing a Kickstarter. I think they only have another couple of days available. It's a Kickstarter for it's essentially a drone that is almost completely indestructible. It is the sumo wrestler, pretty much a sumo wrestler of drones. Crumple zones, the whole 9 yards for fighting each other and bashing into stuff. And it's on Kickstarter. It's there for 3 or 4 more days, and your Kickstarter is going to be either, depending on how much money you give, all the components where you put it together, or a complete handmade drone. And they've already reached their goal, but I still want to give them a plug. It's under Game of Drones on Kickstarter. But
so wait, like how does that work in the air? Like, do they run into each other? Or are they shooting at each other?
No, they run into each other. And the point is you have a match and you want to run into the other guy in such a way that he crashes but you don't, which is really hard to do.
So do they control more like helicopters and they hover, or are they more like jets?
They're control like helicopters that can... Yes, they control more like helicopters.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, because I was imagining like 2 jets flying around and like, wait a minute. Those things hit each other.
Yeah. No. Those aren't wings. These are quad, what they call quad drones, which are essentially quad helicopters. Or one of them had a 6.
I can picture it with the little fan in the middle.
No, it's actually all around the edges. It's like a spider, a 4-legged spider with 4 propellers on each of them.
Okay, yeah, I've seen those. I get it.
Yeah, and I bought Kevin one for Christmas, and we brought it in to fight, and they're like, "We're not going to fight that. it's too wimpy."
Well, then you know what? I remember watching some video a long time ago about people trying to figure out how to improve the stability of drones, like those kind of drones specifically, and they were looking at insects, like wasps,
right,
specifically, and they found that like the battery was kind of the heaviest part. And instead of attaching that to the body of the drone, and having it be like this solid thing, if you let the battery hang, that gives it way more stability.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we just bought another set of drones. We actually now have a matched set of what I call mosquito drones, which are tiny little ones that fit in your hands. But man, they're hard to control, but they are fun. So I've essentially made it much more complicated for myself to learn how to control a mosquito drone. Because if I can fly them, it's like, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can fly a mosquito drone, you can fly any kind of drone. So, cool. Yeah, the dog loves it outside. In fact, we've already had our drone eaten by a Labrador once. We took it out to the park, and of course, our dog was chasing it around. Then the other Labrador, which was scared of it, then realized, oh, it's something to chase. So he started chasing it. But our dog... if it comes close to her, she runs from it. But then when it runs away from her, she chases it. This dog just chased it. And it was, I was like, I saw it at a distance and it was getting lower and lower. I'm like, Kevin, bring it up. And the dog it was one of those Disney moments where what was the name of that dog? What was the name of that? Air Bud. It was like an Air Bud moment where the dog just jumps up, grabs the drone out of the air and just lands and keeps running. And the owner's like, no. So she comes over, and like all the dog owners in the park all came over and go, here's another piece of your drone. And we're just laughing our asses off because it's just mangled and covered in slobber. It cost us $160 to put it back together again, but it was so funny. We still have bite marks in it.
Yeah, war scars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We're blooded. Mm-hmm. But the drones, yeah, that's my new big thing. Oh, they've got cameras on them too. Our big one has an HD camera. This one has a little camera. I may actually, if I drive it well enough, I may take it to PAX and just take some aerial shots of the scene at PAX.
Do they stream or show any of those fights like online or any type of?
If you look under Meetup, or even probably on YouTube, actually probably on YouTube, because there were a lot of people there. There was, professional photographers and a professional videographer, I think professional or semi-professional. But I don't know if they put one up online, but if you look under Game of Drones on YouTube, you will probably find it. And it was just this last weekend, so in San Francisco. We'll go. Next time, they're going to try and make it a monthly event. Nick will go.
Cool.
These are very, very hardcore drone builders. So, these are gearheads. And a lot of very rich gear. These are clearly like a lot of people that's in the tech industry that made a lot of money. So they just buy buildings to have drone fights in. The guy that we had it. Yeah, he's like, I don't know what it is, but he's like, yeah, I had another building down the way that's the old firehouse, which I know this firehouse very well, and it is a landmark. And he's like, yeah, I own it, but I couldn't really bring it to myself to, put Game of Drones over there because, have drone fights there because, it's worth so much money. So I just bought this warehouse. So he bought a warehouse. He goes, yeah, he goes, like, what are you going to do with it? He's like, yeah, I'm going to keep it just for what it is. I'm just figure, what the hell? I might as well, just probably give keys to my friends. Anybody who wants to work on their drones. Okay. All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Nice to be that rich.
Yep.
So yeah, drones. That's kind of why I didn't play games.
There you go.
Anything else other than your?
I've been trying to think. Did I ever talk about Brothers?
I don't know, girlie. Do you
Brothers:
remember?
A Tale of Two Sons. It's a game where you play as brothers. You control each one with a control stick.
I think you did, but you might.
I touched on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Because I'm going to be talking about that on a podcast later this week.
Yeah.
And I haven't replayed it yet, but I want to replay it because it's only like 2-3 hours long.
Yeah.
But that's such a great game. It feels like a big, epic fantasy adventure, but it's just kind of a 3-hour puzzle game. And the puzzles aren't that hard. It's just mainly controlling these two characters at the same time.
It sounds like that might not be much fun, because if you're just spending 3 hours, it feels big, and you're only spending 3 hours on it. Isn't it disappointing when it comes to the end?
No, because it tells a very satisfying story in that time. It's dense. It does what, a Dragon Age wants to be big, and so it is big. This manages to feel big and epic while not being while being small. It's sort of that it hits that illusion that all fantasy games want to, of being epic. But I mean, at the core of it, it's a very small story. It's two brothers trying to find this magic plant to save their father. So you're not saving the world.
Mm-hmm.
But that works in its favor. You travel across this world and see a whole bunch of fantasy things, encounter a bunch of different monsters in different environments, and you're constantly seeing something new. And it's a great game.
It sounds like it'd be hard to control because you're controlling two different brothers with two different joysticks. I mean, what do you do?
I've heard that's a common criticism of it. I didn't find it too difficult, but then I kind of made a point to always keep one brother on the left and always keep the other on the right, according to their thumbsticks. But yeah, I've heard people complain about that, and that's the definite risk.
Any other things got
Other than
touched
that.
on? Because I didn't do crap. Because we got news.
Yeah.
And actually,
got
as
news.
I was sitting here talking to you, I remember, oh yeah, I do have news. Well, you'll probably bring it up. But the big news this week, so we might as well hit it, right?
Unless you want to do news and happy endings.
Well, then we'd have to end the show now. What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. You talk about snow.
Golly, oh, you poor thing. I really feel sorry for you. You got a sick wife. You're not feeling good. You got 10 inches. Oh, yeah. outside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's tiring, boy. I tell you, it was just you know what it is I got to do the trails in the backyard for the dogs because they can do a few inches, but once it gets to be 8, 10, 12 inches, and the problem is it drifts. And so some areas are only 4 inches, and other areas are 14 inches. So I got a clear pass for them, and trying to get through the big grinding areas with a snowblower. And I go around the whole yard a couple times. It's like, oh, that's the tiring part. It's like trying to push an oxen or a plow or something. I don't know what they call it, snow removal. You don't remove the snow. You just
reposition it.
Yes, exactly. So picture if you had all these 10-inch boxes in an office, and you had to move them. So you take one 10-inch box and put it on another 10-inch box. Now you have 20 inches of boxes over here. You know what I mean? So that's what you're doing. So you're creating a path, but all around you now is 20 inches of boxes.
Yeah.
And that's what you do, and that's the tiring part. So sometimes you'll actually clear the driveway and then find out all the snow is on the walkway. And then you got to go over and now clear the walkway, which is twice as much snow that was on the driveway because you just moved it all. Ugh. And then you can't put it in the street, and then you can't put it in your neighbor's yard.
Why can't you put it on the street?
You can't throw it in the street. You can put it like right on the edge, where they plow, and then the sidewalk. There's a few feet there, but boy, that adds up quick. It's already 4 or 5 feet high. And the snow just kind of rolls off of that and goes into the street.
What you need to do is you need to have a heated yard, a heated front yard. You just need to put heating modules all underneath the ground, and then just crank those motherfuckers when it starts to snow, so it all just instantly lands and melts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go. I don't know what
that. I'm going to put a big dome over the house.
Ooh.
And the snow would just fall into the neighbor's yard. And I'd be sitting there and under the dome.
But then what happens when it piles up outside the dome, and then you've got this 10-foot wall of snow
you have to get out of
this
yeah
shit.
You have to snow blow your dome.
You are overthinking this.
Don't think about the future. Just think about the immediate problem at hand.
You need to move to California, where the worst thing that we have to worry about is drought.
There's no water.
Yeah, well, actually, we rained this week. Rained twice, and we're going to rain another one either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I know it's wet up here and it's snowy and all, but I that scares me. Being dehydrated. I don't know.
You're not going to be
Just
dehydrated.
having no water up there. I mean, when you guys just dry up and become a desert, and you guys start moving back east.
We're not going to dry up, become a desert, and move back east.
Nevada will dry up.
Yeah, exactly. Nevada will dry up. We will not. We will be fine. It's just
next to the ocean.
The only thing that's going to dry up is our hills, which we might burn down and take our houses with us.
Now, why can't
Exactly.
set up these desalinization plants or deseminization plants, whatever they do? They take the salt out of the water.
It's expensive.
Do that. You do that. And then you get all that salt water there that no one's using anyway, and just, water your lawns with that.
Yeah, well, it's super desalinization is exceptionally expensive right now because, of course, there's not a lot of money put into it. But yeah, desal plants are probably what's going to happen in the future, and it's probably going to start in California. Yeah, we're actually, who's going to get fucked from this drought, and it's not going to be me specifically, and it's not going to be us, me and Nick, because of the lack of water for us. It's the California growers, the breadbasket of the world. You think vegetables and shit is expensive now. Just wait till this summer, my friend. You are going to suffer big time. Because in the center part of California, where the most fertile soil is, that's where they have the least amount of water. They've got no water down there, which is one of the reasons why it's super fertile soil, because it has not been grown on for tons of years, only since we've had the ability to be able to ship water. Well, the growers in California relied primarily on two things. One, a state allocation of water, and a federal allocation of water. For the first time in history, the state has said the central part of California is getting zero state allocation. And the feds are like, well, we can't tell you what it is just yet. We don't know. You'll find out in April. But I'll tell you this. If it is anything, it's not going to be much. If they get zero water from the federal government and zero water from the state, there's going to be all the almond groves, all the orange groves, all the apple groves, all the big permanent groves down in Central California are all going to die. And you come summertime when you guys are looking for your, Chex Mix and put nuts in your Chex Mix on. There's no walnuts, there's no almonds, there's nothing. All of the corn and the sugar beets and all that, all gone.
Good. Yeah, that's a great idea by the government. Let's not spend money on food. Let's spend money on other stupid things. Perfect.
Right. Well, it's not the money. It's not. No, they're not talking about state allocation of cash. It's state allocation of water. The state has no water to give them. Yeah. No, they actually give directly water from moving it from one part of the state to the other, and they don't have, because the state has its own reservoirs in order to essentially allocate to different parts of the state that need it. They have no water in those reservoirs.
Well, they should start building those desalination plants.
Yeah.
There's so much water on this planet, and just why we're not doing that. I know it's probably not fun or profitable the whole bit, but water is water, dude.
Yeah, and it's expensive. Well, it's blood from a stone. It's very expensive to build. I was actually stayed in, what was it? Our honeymoon was in Aruba, and Aruba is 100% desalination plant. That's all the water that you drink is a big desalination plant on one part of the island, which was great. One of the reasons why we picked it is because you could drink the water, because the water went through a desal plant and not out of groundwater. But it was fine. No issue with the water whatsoever. I mean, was it the most fabulous tasting water? It was all right. Not great. Wasn't any worse than like tap water at my parents' house, Martinez. Not that bad. But yeah, but they've got desal plants in like the Middle East. It's a big place where they have it, but it's very expensive, very expensive to build.
Well, you guys will be drinking your own pee pretty soon.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear what's going over there in Sochi, in Russia? You hear that shit?
Yeah, it makes us bitching about our lives so much less important.
Hosted the,
oh my God!
This is the place that won the bid to host the Winter Olympics.
This is Putin's the crown of Putin, the crown jewel of Putin's reign as prime minister or president.
And when you wipe your ass, you cannot put the paper down the toilet. You have to put it in a bucket.
If you could find a toilet, people that had.
And all the
CNN has one room. They booked 11 rooms 5 months ago. They got one room. It has a single bed in it. And when they came into it, there were still stray dogs and construction workers wandering in and out of their room.
Yeah, and the toilets, they're like, there's a big room full of toilets, and there's no separation. It's like the old Roman setup. Where you sit across from somebody and take a dump or a pee. Nick, can you picture me and you sitting across from each other? Like maybe like you be on your DX and I'd be on my Vita. We'd be taking dumps.
Yeah, we're like, hey, Goalie, what are you playing?
Oh, man, I'm playing Men's Room Mayhem. How about you?
Yeah?
I just got the achievement. High five. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait, not that hand. Use the other hand.
Oh, that's gross.
Make sure you wash after you use that controller.
Oh my God.
I've been playing my iPhone. It's like everywhere on the screen. Really should have washed my hands first.
You're walking down the street, like the manholes don't even have covers on them. So you're walking down the street and there's just a big hole in the street. Heaven forbid you're looking at your iPad or you're on your smartphone looking something up and you drop into a manhole.
Yeah, you can't wash your face with the water.
Yeah, something in the water. So you have
water's like yellow. It's not even clear.
When they do have water, they'll have water and then all of a sudden they don't have water. Oh my God, it is such a fuck up of such an epic proportion.
Didn't anybody scout this place beforehand and say, hey, this would be a great place to host, how many thousands of people here?
Well, I mean, that was the thing, is that Russia, that's how it is with all Olympics, is that they present a plan of what they're going to build. It's just that Russia never got its shit together and finished building it. And they went, do you know how much it's cost them so far to be this far behind on their planning? $51 billion. So far over budget, it's not even funny. 51 billion. That's 51,000 million.
Wow.
Ugh.
just to have the Olympics. And have they even started yet? They haven't even started yet. And
Tomorrow.
No,
Tomorrow morning.
it's on in, like couple when?
No, it's the opening. The opening is officially tomorrow, but I think they're having some of the earlier events right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Why don't they just melt the snow and use that for water for crying out loud?
Do you really want to be drinking Russian snow?
It's probably pretty. Well, yeah, depends what you are. It's probably radioactive.
But meanwhile, there's on top of it, they've got like stray dogs rolling around that place, and they're poisoning and trapping them. So there's poison all over the place.
There's dogs laying on the ground dead. It's like.
They got dead
dead
dog
dogs,
dog poo, dog piss, and poison.
Right.
What a cocktail.
The only way to get a hold of it is to get into your room, if you can get a room, because I guess only, 4 out of the 11 hotels are actually open. So people are showing up for their rooms, and like their hotel doesn't even exist. And the ones that are open are barely open.
Sorry, folks, park's closed. Griswold. Don't see you on the list. You say you're from America?
America? Oh, America. So, all right. Well, I guess, do you want to just quit early and then head over to Happy Endings to do the news?
Extra few minutes to watch.
We got plenty of news.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, if you're listening to this and you are on our GameHounds RSS feed, or your GameHounds signed up for GameHounds on iTunes, please make sure that you have signed up for the Happy Endings, because it looks like we're taking this over the news over there, and there's a ton of news to discuss, my friends. Ton of news. So hold on a second. I haven't prepared for this because we're doing this early. Okay, so let's close this out. You have been listening to GameHounds episode 249. We have recorded this on February 5th, 2014. I'm Edie Sellers, and with me has been Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. First off, ways to get a hold of us. First way to get a hold of us is to go to our website, GameHounds.net. That's where we post the most recent show. Ready for you to listen to. But if you don't get to that, you can always sign up for the RSS feeds or sign up on iTunes for both this show, which is the GameHounds, and also for GameHounds Happy Endings, which we do our after show. You can also send us an email. Oh, I forgot, we got an email this week, and I should I'll bring it up on the Spreaker show on the Happy Endings. But you can send us an email. Emails go to gamehounds@gmail.com. You should absolutely be going to our Facebook page and liking our Facebook page, because it will put you on the feed for our Facebook page on your Facebook that gives all the latest news. Piss Boy updates that daily. As events happen in the gaming world, you will be on top of it. Facebook.com/the GameHounds. Go to it, like it, and you will stay apprised of what's happening when it's happening, as it's happening. Other way to also watch us, we have a Twitch feed, GameHounds, or twitch.com/the GameHounds. And what else do we have? Oh, we have the text line. You can also leave us a voicemail or a text. That goes directly to Holy Goalie. Our voicemail and text line is
304-300-988.
And you know what? I'm actually remembering. It only took me 2 years. I'm remembering that number now. All right, so we will talk to you later in about half hour over live at Happy Endings. And we'll see you then. See you later, Goalie. See you later, Nick.